Hey guys, welcome back. So, Stature is now present in the Spotlight caches. So I know, Lady Deathstrike isn't great. Okay, I forgot to mention in the last video, but if if you're wondering if you should buy Lady Deathstrike, do not buy Lady Deathstrike for 6k tokens. But if you're opening your caches, you might end up with a card like Stature, which is a crazy freaking good card. Okay, so I thought it was the perfect moment for the channel to remind you guys what is the best deck right now, and it's this Stature deck, or this Black Bolt Stature deck, which is gonna get even better when Silver Samurai is gonna come out. Silver Samurai is a 4/4 that forces your opponent to discard a card as well. So yeah, Stature is gonna become even better. So yeah, I prepared a little deck highlight for you guys here with the Black Bolt Stature list. But just before I do so, please, if you guys enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. You guys know what to do. Most of you guys watching are not even subscribed, so click subscribe. Let's reach 1K subscribers. And yeah, I'll be streaming today as well. So probably 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern. So jump on the stream as well if you guys are there. And yeah, let's get into it. So this deck is so freaking powerful, right? So the possibility of dropping Stature for a 1/6 on turn 6 is just crazy, especially followed with a card like Black Bolt, which forces our opponent to discard the lowest cost card from your opponent's hand, right? So the whole idea behind the deck is obviously to play Black Bolt on 5, and then on 6 you have Stature, and then you can mix it with like a Dark Hawk and like a Jeff, or maybe something else. You have so many possibilities that you can do on turn 6 just to drop so much power, right? And yeah, this deck has obviously this win condition with Black Bolt Stature and something else, but it also has the win condition of Dark Hawk, right? So we have Dark Hawk, we have Enchantress, we have we have Dark Hawk and Rock Slide, which are just a lot of power you can drop on turn 6. If you have your Zabu on 2, you can play Dark Hawk and Rock Slide on turn 6, which is another win condition. And then we have a third win condition, which is the counter win condition. So we counter our opponent with things like Shang-chi and Enchantress, which also can both be played on turn 6 with the help of Zabu here. Also, we have Spider Ham, which also counters our opponent. So we have just so many different options against so many different decks, which makes just this deck one of the highest win percentage deck of all time. This deck is just so powerful. The player is so small. I think presumably it's because people didn't have Stature, but now that Spotlight Cache is featuring Stature, I think this deck is going to explode, and it's going to explode even more once Silver Samurai comes out in 2 weeks. Right, so 3-win condition, Black Bolt Stature. And by the way, Black Bolt can make you win games sometimes by discarding some really important card. We have Rock Slide Dark Hawk, and once again, Rock Slide can make you win games just by disrupting our opponent's deck, our opponent's draw. And then we have the Shang-chi Enchantress, which is always my favorite, which is always like in all my like Dark Hawk Legion decks, Terra Control decks, all decks that plays around our opponent. And finally, we have Spider Ham to also counter our opponent in some matchup. So yeah, these are the main play patterns, and I'll go in card by card. So Korg is really freaking good because once again, it fits very well with our Dark Hawk. It's a 1/4 if we have a Dark Hawk, which also adds some disruption to our opponent. So you have it on turn 1, you play on turn 1. That's it. Just play Korg on turn 1 if you have it on turn 1, because you don't have any other play. It's also really good if you have an extra energy. Sometimes on turn 6, you have Stature for 1. You have your Dark Hawk for like 3, so you're like at 4, and then you're missing a power. You can't play another 4 cost, and you can play your Korg, which is really good. So I mentioned Spider Ham. Spider Ham is super important for some especially Conquest games, right? So this deck, for me, I play a lot of Conquest. This deck works perfectly on the ladder as well. You could reach infinite with this deck by all means. But in Conquest, Spider Ham is just even crazier because you could play it on turn 2 or play on turn 3, or just play it whenever you have 2 extra energy. And you can counter some decks. You can counter some like Iron Man, some Iron Zola, some Hela, all of us, like even Apocalypse. You can counter Apocalypse with Spider Ham. So really, really good card. Just destroys all finishers. Just be careful if your opponent has maybe an Infinite. Maybe he has he's playing a Lockjaw and he has a Giganto. So yeah, be diligent of how you're playing Spider-Ham. But if you know all the cards in your opponent's deck, Spider-Ham is just crazy. It's also on turn 1 from Conquest. You can get some intel, which is also really good. So yeah, Spider-Ham, really good in this deck. Next up, Zabu. Zabu is here to allow us to play all our other cards. We have so many forecasts. We have Darkhawk, Shang-Chi, Enchantress, Rockslide, Iron Lad. So by playing Zabu on turn 2, we have the possibility of playing one of these cards on turn 3, which can be really good, especially like a Rockslide or Iron Lad, which gets a good pull. Or not even a good pull. A 3/6 is still a really good stat line. Or a Darkhawk if you know your opponent doesn't have a Shang-Chi, doesn't have an Enchantress, doesn't have any way to counter the Darkhawk. You could just play Darkhawk turn 3, which is also really, really good. So yeah, Zabu is freaking good, and also it allows obviously the play of doing Darkhawk Rocks on turn 6, Enchantress, Shang-Chi on turn 6, and then like Stature and whatnot on turn 6, right? Really good, Zabu really good. Yeah, next up we have Jeff 2/3. Jeff is just freaking good. It beats all control lists. Well, it doesn't beat, but it really helps against all control lists. I love playing Jeff also to like beat some. Sometimes you're gonna need your opponent to have initiative, so you can play your Jeff and then move your Jeff to make sure in the lane you're already winning or something like that to make your opponent get initiative. If you need initiative, you can move your Jeff with initiative. So it's a really flexible card. This card can be swapped totally. Same goes for Spider-Ham. You can't really play this deck without Zabu, but Jeff, Spider-Ham, you can switch if you want for probably any other good 2 costs here. But yeah, Korg, keep it in the deck, and everyone should have Korg. It's a pull 2 card. Killmonger. Killmonger also allows us to defeat our opponent. If you're playing against any deck that have some really good 1 cost, you can play Killmonger, which is really good. But obviously, you could switch Killmonger for almost any other card. There's so many 4 costs you could swap Killmonger for. So yeah, feel free to play whatever you want. You could also play Miles Morales. I like to play Miles instead of Killmonger as well if you want, because if you have Jeff, by the way, because you need Jeff to move to activate the Miles. But if you don't have your Jeff, if it's in your deck but you don't have it on the board, Miles is going to cost 3 with Zabu, which can be really good. So yeah, you have a lot of different options. Captain Marvel can be really good as well nowadays as a 4/5 stat line that can't be Shang-Chi'd. You could even in White Queen if you want, but if you play White Queen, don't play Spider-Ham because that's a negative synergy. So yeah, feel free to play whatever you want. Killmonger can be swapped if you feel that you don't have to always play against those deck that have big 1 cost card. You can swap Killmonger if you want. Darkhawk, don't swap Darkhawk. Well, you can honestly, but like Darkhawk is really, really good. But if you want to remove Darkhawk from this deck, you're gonna have to remove Rockslide and Korg. But yeah, so Darkhawk is really good because of these 2 cards, like I just mentioned. Korg and Rockslide just adds 6 power to Darkhawk, which makes just a huge Darkhawk that you can play. Most of the time, you would play on turn 6 when you don't know what your opponent has. But it's also really good in some locations. Sometimes you have to win a location by turn 4 to like draw cards, or win by turn 3 so your opponent gets a rock, stuff like that. Dark Hawkman can be really good. If you have your Zabu, you can play it on turn 3. If you know your opponent doesn't have a counter, drop it wherever you want. Yeah, Dark Hawk is freaking fantastic in the meta. One of my favorite cards for sure. So Shang-Chi, I talked about Shang-Chi and Enchantress. They're both there to counter your opponent. So play these 2 cards. Play these 2 cards when you don't have initiative and play them on turn 6. Enchantress has the ability of countering stuff like Wong, like Iron Man, like any big ongoing cards. And then we have Shang-Chi that's really good to destroy other just big cards. Infinites, other Dark Hawks. Other Dark Hawks can also be destroyed by Enchantress, Devil Dinos, all stuff like that. Shang-Chi and Enchantress together have basically answers to all of the big cards in the meta right now. Rockslide. So Rockslide is really good, like I mentioned, for the disruption, and it's really good to buff our Dark Hawk. Just crazy valued card here. Yeah, play it on turn 3 if you need to disrupt your opponent draws. Yeah, next up, Iron Lad. Iron Lad, really good. 4-6 stat line, 3-6 with Zabu. And then you have crazy pulls. If Iron Lad hits Black Bolt, it's great. Rock Slide is great. Hail Mary, Shang-Chi, Enchantress can be great. Dark Hawk is freaking fantastic, having an Iron Lad with a Dark Hawk buff. It can even be good in some cases with Killmonger. Great with Jeff, great with Zabu, great with Spider-Ham, great with Korg. So just a lot of great pulls. And even the downside of like, even if it doesn't hit anything good, hits like Stature, it's still a 4-6 or like a 3-6 with Zabu. So Iron Lad really good. But look at what you have in your deck. Make math. Play the RNG. And yeah, Iron Lad really good. Next up we have Stature. So Stature is the featured card, and it's also one of the most powerful cards in the game in this deck. She's just super strong, and that's the only issue with Stature actually, is she only fits in this deck. There really isn't any other deck that plays Stature, but in this deck she's freaking fantastic. Like I said, Silver Samurai is coming out later in like 2 weeks, so we might see more decks which are going to be more interesting. Playing Silver Samurai on 4, forcing your opponent to discard something, and then maybe you discard a Mirror Master Shard and stuff like that. But as of now, until then, play this deck, guys. This deck, it's just the best. You can reach, you're going to get a lot of Infinity tickets. You're going to get, if you play this in the Infinity Conquest, I'm 100% sure you can win an Avatar, Infinity Avatar. Yeah, fantastic deck, fantastic card, super fun card, super creative card. And I'm excited that you see what's going to be up with her in the future. And then finally, we have Black Bolt. Black Bolt that discards the lowest cost card from your opponent's hand. Sometimes it's going to be great if your opponent has a 0 cost death. Black Bolt's fantastic. It's just going to discard the death. There's a lot of there's a lot of other targets as well for Black Bolt. Yeah, great card. Great against Kitty Prides. Good against a lot of other cards. A 5/7 stat line is really good. One less than Legion, but combined with Stature, the stat line just becomes incredible. So yeah, I'll jump into some Conquest, and I'll see you guys there. So yeah, I'm actually wanted to do maybe another game in the Gold Conquest so you guys really can see how powerful this deck is. I'm gonna keep the last game there, but Stature was only used once, so hopefully we could get a little bit more of a high level of Stature. But yeah, the whole deck is crazy nonetheless. So we are against Kirito George. We're gonna give him a little hello and a little fist bump here. We have Zabu on turn 2. And also, I just love the deck, by the way, so I just wanted to play more. So that's another reason. So we have a Bast here in the Gold Conquest. A Bastless. So is that a Cerebro 3? Is that a Mr. Negative? There's a lot of options here, but we have our Zabu on turn 2, which is great. But our opponent also has a Zabu. So for me, this further screams Mr. Negative. But our opponent didn't snap. So I think Rock Slide would be good. I think Rock Slide would be very good here. So Rock Slide middle, because if he gets his... First of all, we stop him from drawing his Mr. Negative. And secondly, if he gets this Mr. Negative, some of the cards are going to be rocks. Wow, I think we lost that trade for sure. We have an extra turn, so we're drawing 3. We're drawing a card on turn 5, 6, and 7. 3 cards. We have 5 cards in deck. We have an Iron Lad to do a Hail Mary. So like kind of 4 cards. I think we're fine to get like a Shang-Chi. I kind of want to play it. I probably shouldn't, but I want to play it. So, I'm going to Enchantress our opponent, Zabu, because we still don't know what kind of ongoing our opponent has. This is very interesting. So we do get our Shang-Chi. So for turn 7, I think we play Shang-Chi with probably something else. Here, our Iron Lad could hit Korg, Killmonger, Stature, Black Bolt. So 3 out of 4 are great. I think Spider Ham could also be pretty good here. I think I am going to Spider Ham right, but I kind of want to let him have initiative. So if I go for Iron Lad and maybe Spider Ham, I think we are in a good position to give him initiative.
I am Iron Man.
Okay, so he has Iron Man. Here we actually Black Bolt a Rock, which isn't great, but we Spider Ham hit Monkey. This is an interesting deck. I think we are going to Jeff here and Dark Hawk here. Hopefully Silk goes left, I think. Or maybe we keep Dark Hawk and Shang-Chi for the last turn, so we would need to Black Bolt middle now.
I am Iron Man.
So this is very risky for 4 cubes. Shang-Chi wins left, but then Silk jumps somewhere. We have a 8 power Dark Hawk, which is quite bad. We've had bad luck with the X-Mention. Yeah, the mature thing to do here is to retreat. So we are going to do so. We now know there's an Iron Man. I should have maybe expected it with the Bast. So an Iron Man, a Mystique. So we are going to keep our Enchantress and give him initiative. And that's our win condition, our counter win condition, right? Because we also have our main win condition with Black Bolt, Stature, Dark Hawk. And then we have our counter win condition with the Enchantress that we already have in hand. Spider Ham here. Oh my god, tanks. Oh, this is just beautiful. Okay. Let's Jeff and Cloning Vats. I think we might even want to snap here. Yeah, I think we are snapping here. We are going to Rock Slide. So we still have like 5 missing cards. So yes, it is a Mr. Negative list. But hopefully if we give him enough rocks, he shouldn't have anything good to play. I mean, probably playing them in Cloning Vats wasn't necessary, I would say. But we have initiative, so we could Enchantress. We can move Jeff. And we could play Korg. Middle. We would have played Korg middle. So we are tying up the game with the round 2 here. So here's Wong. When I say Wong, I'm always expecting Arnim Zola and Arnim Zola and Black Panther, obviously. After turn 5, your destroyed cards revive here. So this is actually the first time I'm seeing this location. We cannot take advantage of this location, unfortunately. I don't think our opponent can as well. Bar Sinister. Interesting. We may be able to Black Bolt in Bar Sinister on turn 5. That could be a possibility. Oh, never mind. Our opponent is going to Magic. So we do get Stature. So we are going to play our... I think Rock Slide is pretty good here. So we are going to Black Bolt.
I am Iron Man.
Followed by Mystique, I'm expecting. Yeah.
I am Iron Man.
So our opponent only has 2 cards in hand for 2 extra turns. So we are going to play. I think we have to play our Enchantress now. We're not going to get any better cards. And we could Spider Ham here, actually. And we are going to Spider Ham the last card in our opponent's hand. We might still lose. But this helps. So our opponent has a Rogue. Interesting. And this is where Stature might get some good value on turn 6. Or 7 on turn 7 here. Iron Lad could pull Dark Hawk. I guess we play our Stature here and maybe a Korg. And so our opponent has 2 cards in hand, right? And one is a pig. 3-2 or 2-3 pig because it was inverted. So if it is a 2-3 pig, this ties the pig, and he might play another card here. Let's say Wolfbane or something like that, and we are going to win right. So are we going to win by more? That's the question. It's going to be tied or tough. Please hit Dark Hawk. It hits Zabu. Is this enough? So here goes the pig. So we are going to win the right. And a beautiful rock shuffled in our opponent's deck is going to give us the win here in round number 3. This deck is so much fun. Stature is so powerful in this deck. All right. Let's go Korg. We need Zabu here. So actually our opponent dex tracker is broken, and we can see the pig in the dex tracker, which is kind of hilarious. Okay. We get Jeff here. We're going to play Jeff in... no, we're going to play in Pet Mansion just to lose initiative if possible. So we are going to try to put some extra rocks in our opponent's hand or deck. So Shang-Chi Monster Island is very good. We're going to see if he commits something more in the Monster Island. So we are going to Black Bolt. Do we have any good targets for Black Bolt? Perhaps if he drew something like Arnim Zola, inverted Arnim Zola, inverted. Yeah, but most likely he.
I am Iron Man.
Well, if he didn't play his Iron Man, we would have
I am Iron Man.
discarded it. So that was a good play on his end for sure. So our opponent snaps here, but we have Enchantress, we have Spider Ham, and we have Dark Hawk and potentially Stature for the next turn. Or should we Shang-Chi here? I think we are going to Enchantress. I think we're safe in the middle lane. So we get a 3-2 rogue in his hand. I think the best play here is going to be a Shang-Chi into Jeff here, into Killmonger right. Okay, so there's 2 missing cards in our opponent's deck we haven't seen. Presumably Arnim Zola and presumably Black Panther. This is what I would have thought, but maybe there's an Iron Heart and we would lose to that. Anyway, we need the intel, so we're gonna play it. Is that a Shang-Chi and an Iron Heart? That would be nuts. Okay, that's a pig and that's a Silver Surfer. Yeah. So yeah, that's an inverted surfer. How did I not notice that? There's Wolfbane, there's Brood, there's Magic. Yeah, and there's Mystique. But yeah, this is not going to be enough to defeat us. We have one more game in the chamber, potentially. Maybe 2, maybe 3, for a maximum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. So here, and also, guys, please note that our opponent almost always had his missing negative. We still managed to win, which is just crazy. I guess we are gonna Jeff in space. No, I don't think it matters that much. Our opponent has his Zabu on 2. Presumably his Silver Surf, not his Mr. Negative on 3. So we're going to Korg and Zabu here. So the Wong drops, so we're probably going to Iron Lad now and hopefully hit Enchantress. Spider Ham's good. Black Bolt's good. I think just Killmonger is probably the worst of all the pulls. Spider Ham's really good. We hit the Brood. Magic drops in Space Throne, which is expected because he doesn't have any big cards to play there. So we are going to draw our Spider Ham. Our opponent has 5 cards in hand. I think we want to disrupt his deck even more, so we're going to play our Rock Slide and our Spider Ham. Spider Ham is probably going to hit the same target anyway, but... Oh, well, this is a new target, I believe.
I am Iron Man.
So no Mr. Negative this game for our opponent. We have Black Bolt on turn 6, which is great. We might need to surrender the left lane. I'm gonna move Jeff now, which might just give him initiative, which would be the best. Okay.
I am Iron Man.
So here the Silver Surfer should drop. But our opponent stole initiative here, which means Wolfbane is now shang-chiable. He adds 4 power on Mystique, so 8 power right. He would be at 20. So if we want to contest the right lane, we have to play our... Well, no, it's not enough. It's not enough either way. So I think we go for Darkhawk, Shang-Chi, and Stature in the middle lane, or do we... If he plays Brood and Silver Surfer, he adds 2, 4, 6, 12... 12 plus 2, so 14, he would be at 16. But he would get the buff from Monster Metropolis. So we might need to Stature here and Darkhawk here. So we are going to kill the Wolfbane, but I don't think this is enough, unfortunately. And our opponent is going to take the win here. However, we've now seen every single card in his deck. And I think we should be good to win probably this game. Especially if we get our Zabu here on turn 2. Okay, so here, I'm thinking we Spider Ham now, okay? And the reason is we know his deck, right? All his highest power card or highest cost cards are Mr. Negative, Wong, and Iron Man. So if he plays his Zabu now, he might be able to play his Mr. Negative next turn. Well, actually, if he plays Zabu now, Mr. Negative and Wong are going to go down to 3, and then Spider Ham would hit something else, but we're still going to try it. So we hit Ironheart, which means he doesn't have Mr. Negative, Wong, nor Iron Man in his hand right now. So we are going to play Zabu, Iron Lad. I think, right? Zabu and Iron Lad here. Or we play Rock Slide and Iron Lad, and then on turn 4 we play our Zabu. We're going to split the power that way. So we know he didn't have any of these 3 cards in hand. So Old Korg's really good. And he's probably going to try to draw those cards. So adding rocks in his deck is really good. Okay, he actually top decked the Mr. Negative. But at least he has rocks in his decks. In his deck. So I think we're just going to play Stature just for the power here. Hopefully he didn't get his Wong. Yep, well, his Wong and his Iron Man. So here we're going to have to play our Enchantress and our Killmonger, I think, for the power. It only adds a single power, though. But I think this is still the play, or should we keep the Now we're gonna play the Enchantress, and we're gonna hope he didn't get his Iron Man. Okay, 3 cards in hand. Dark Hawk goes here. We have initiative anyway, so this is a 12-hour Dark Hawk. So we're at +8/+8, but he can add more power here with a Brood and Silver Surfer. That adds a lot of power middle. So I think we play Shang-Chi right. Nice rock. All right. So we're going to casserole here in the last round to get the win. And yeah. All right. Now I think we've done a good breakdown of the deck, and hopefully you guys have seen how powerful this deck can be. Yeah. I'll be streaming tomorrow. For you guys, it's today, so I'll be streaming today in the afternoon, so at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to see more gameplay with this deck, I'm gonna play it all evening. So yeah, from like probably 2 to 6 or something like that. So jump on my stream. I'm probably live. You see the red icon on my YouTube avatar. Click on it. Come join the stream. Yeah, I'll see you guys there. And if I don't see you guys in the stream, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.